I just wanted to take a minute to talk about how annoying it is for me to watch YouTube videos and TikTok videos and Instagram and everything where people are talking about all these like carnivore trends, right? Like I was watching one the other day where this popular keto person decided that they wanted to do carnivore for a week because they wanted to lose some weight, which that in and of itself to me is kind of annoying. It's not like this quick fix, like I want to lose some weight, so I'm just going to do it for a week as a quick fix type of thing. Like carnivore diet to me is like a commitment to a better lifestyle, not just a quick fix. So like this whole trend of I'm just going to do carnivore for a little bit as a quick fix to lose weight or whatever is really irritating. But the biggest thing that I saw in the video was they were like, well, I guess I'm just going to go eat some butter because that's what people on carnivore do, right? And that to me is, I hate all these trends, right? Like all these trends where everyone's like, I'm going to go eat some butter because that's what carnivore people do. I'm going to go do this because that's what those people do, right? Like if you, and it trips people up that are interested in, following this type of lifestyle. I've been doing carnivore for 1.5 years. Before that, I did keto for like 1.5 years. There was a span in between because of, COVID and everything else where I ended up going back to standard American diet. So I did keto for 1.5 years, did the standard American diet for, it was like a couple years, 3 years, and then gained a bunch of weight back. My health issues came back that I was struggling with before I did keto, and then decided that I wanted to do carnivore. I can go into all the details about that later, but I started doing carnivore and I've been doing carnivore for 1.5 years. My biggest thing with my way of eating is that I don't follow the trends. For me, it's just my life. I'm not going to follow all the trends. I'm not going to follow, I'm not going to eat, butter bites, all the butter bites and then just going and eating a tablespoon of butter because that's what carnivore people do, right? Is there moments where like a little tiny bit of butter left over on the knife, will I lick that off if it looks good? Yeah, but I'm not gonna go and like eat butter bites or eat tablespoons of butter at a time or do these specific things because everybody has it in their head that that's what you do on carnivore. I'm gonna live my life and do what I feel like is right. And my biggest thing on carnivore is that I'm a normal everyday person. Like I work a 9-to-5 job. I have a home that I take care of. I have, my husband does not eat the same way that I do. He has more of a standard American diet, which is a whole nother story. But I'm not going to go out of my way to do all this extra stuff, right? Like if it's, there's all these recipes of like things that you can make that are carnivore where you just have to substitute all this stuff. I don't have time. I don't have time for all of that, right? If it's not super easy to do, I'm not going to do it. Right? That's just who I am. I'm a very real, very everyday person. I'm just going to do the bare minimum basics. Like, I don't have time, right? So like this whole idea, and it irritates me that everyone's got it in their head that like, well, in order to be carnivore, you got to sit and eat tabs of butter every day, or you have to do this, and it's just a quick fix, and this is how you're going to do everything. It just really irritates me that it's giving people the wrong mindset, right? Like, I struggled in the beginning when I was doing keto because I was led to believe there wasn't as much like YouTube videos and a lot of people that I could relate with at the time. And the few influencers that were out there and whatnot and people to learn from made it seem like if you weren't eating grass-fed beef, if you weren't eating chickens that, were free range and, eating eggs from, organic, cage-free chickens and everything else, like if you weren't eating the top of the line, you were just killing yourself. And I had to come to the realization, like, just do the best that you can, right? Like, you don't have to sit there and eat grass-fed butter, grass-fed beef, grass-fed. First of all, I can't afford it, right? I straight up cannot afford it. But like, anything is better than what you were doing. So for me, like, I'm not going to sit around eating tablespoons of butter because that's what I was told to do on carnivore, right? And if that's what I was led to believe needs to be done in order to eat carnivore, I probably wouldn't have done it, right? That's just who I am. And that it irritates me that there's a lot of people out there who are interested in this way of eating, but they're getting led to believe still. I mean, I thought the butter trend was over. I thought like we had moved past the everybody's sitting around just eating, sticks of butter. Apparently we're not. So I want everybody out there to understand, like, that's not what this way of eating is, right? And I don't want people to be discouraged from following this way of eating because they're being led to believe that that's what you have to do. You don't have to do anything, right? Do what works best for you. Do what you can afford, right? Do what your tastes dictate. Don't do something, force yourself to do something just because you're being told that's what you should do, right? Figure out what works for you, right? Do what works best for you. That's it. It's not that hard. This way of eating is not hard, right? If you want to do keto, you want to do some type of low carb, you want to do carnivore, right? Figure out what works for you. Figure out what's going to help improve your health and make you feel better. That's the most important thing.